what I want you to do is this. Take a step back, think about it. What have atheists actually done? They keep talking about science, 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 you know, woo, 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 we're all about science. But what have you guys actually done? That's what I want to know.
All the technological advancements.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, so tell me this, okay? If atheists are the people who we should be looking up to and they are supposed to be holding up science as a banner, why didn't they come up with it? Why were the founding fathers of the fields of physics, chemistry, biology, psychology, sociology, anthropology theists?
Because that was...
Why? No, wait, let me finish.
No, yeah,
then I'll ask you a question. Now, in the 20th century, when we've made so much progress, you guys have decided to come out of your caves and say, well, this is all due to us. And I'm kind of like, that's rich. That's really rich. Where were you for the last 1,000 years?
We were all theists, or we were all hiding from theists, weren't we?
One of the things that I really enjoyed about your book was when you explained to people that everyone who practices a religion is an atheist. You're just an atheist in regards to Zeus or Apollo.
Or the 999 other gods.
Yes,
right,
and
yes.
that's a home run with this argument.
Yes. Because some of us just go one god further.
Yes,
yeah.
But that really is a home run because this is...
I wanted to kind of mention, which is the point that Joe Rogan referred to as a home run, which is that he said, look, there's so many gods in the world. There's so many religions. What kind of nonsense is that?
Yeah.
The argument is there's so many religions.
Therefore they're all wrong.
Therefore they're all wrong.
Yeah. And he makes Dawkins the same type of claim. There's so many gods, therefore they're all wrong. That's what he does.
Right. So look, why not Zeus? Why not Hercules? I don't know why. I mean, where do you even begin with such nonsense? Because the truth is this, is that, number one, when we refer to God, let's just make this very clear so that atheists at least have an insight. Because I'm sure some atheists are going to be watching this video. And hopefully Richard Dawkins himself will have at least some access to this video.
Yep.
Maybe Joe Rogan himself, who is yet to put me on the show. And hopefully might do so after this.
Yeah.
But the point is this, is that the thing is about when we talk about God, when we say God, what do we mean? Right? We know that there are many gods in the sense that there are many gods that have been, there are many objects of worship.
Yep.
There have been many objects of worship historically and currently, contemporaneously. We see that there are many objects of worship. Hercules is an object of worship. Zeus is an object of worship, right?
Yep.
Jesus is an object of worship. When monotheists, or people that he has a fetish with, really, or fixation with, people from the Abrahamic religions, when we're referring to God, barring maybe Trinitarian understandings, for now, what we're talking about is the creator of the universe.
Yep.
Okay, the one creator of the universe, the all-powerful, the all-knowing, the all, and so on and so forth, right? And the argument should not be strawmanned. What we're saying is that there is one creator of the universe who is pre-eternal, post-eternal, all-powerful, all-knowledgeable, and which brought rise to everything that exists. This is our conception of God. Obviously, there are other attributes as per the religious traditions, and you'd have to go into which book one believes in and so on to kind of know the attributes of God.
Yeah.
But when we talk about a God, the creator of the universe, that's where the conversation should be. If someone believes in an object of worship that's outside of that, we would say, okay, well, that is their object of worship. We wouldn't deny that for them. However, when we are talking about something which started up the universe, that is what you need to disprove.
Absolutely.
Not talk about spaghetti monster or Zeus and then he calls it a home run. What's a home run about it? Sorry to say.
Yeah.
There's nothing home run about that, my friend.
And repeatability. Have you seen anything coming out of nothing?
I've seen a plane coming out of the sky, out of nothing. This is the reasoning, you know.
If this is the level of your scientific inquiry, then I suggest you need to learn a bit more about science, how it works. This plane didn't just pop into existence just like that. It came from a particular place, maybe I'd call it an airport, right? So if you were to say, for example, when you talk against common sense and intuition, maybe you don't exist. It's possible, right?
If we agree on
is it possible, even though it's counterintuitive, goes against common sense, maybe you don't exist? Is it possible?
If we agree on the definition of the word exist, then yeah.
What?
Yes.
Existence, could it come from non-existence?
Yes.
What is non-existence?
Non-existence. Look, like we've got hydrogen and we've got oxygen, but the water does not exist yet. Now we do a chemical reaction, bam, we've got water. So
Did it come from non-existence?
yes,
No, it came
Because
from hydrogen and oxygen.
but water as water did not exist.
The water, which is
Yes.
existence,
Yes.
it came from existence, which is
Yes.
hydrogen and oxygen. So
So you only believe what you see.
Or what I feel, what I
Do you believe you have consciousness?
that I have consciousness.
You haven't seen your consciousness, right? But you believe it.
Islam is terrified of people professing atheism, right? Again, I think that, I don't know what experience you've had maybe with, from reading European history books, but I suppose you should read books from about Mesopotamia and Islamic civilization. The Prophet Muhammad, if I may just finish, I'll let you respond. So the Prophet Muhammad had a famous debate with a Bedouin atheist, right? There was no intolerance there. The Bedouin atheist actually became Muslim, but there was no intolerance just because the guy initially professed to be atheist. Abu Hanifa, famous classical scholar in medieval Iraq, Baghdad actually, had public open-air debates with atheists. Presumably there's atheists who were living in Baghdad at the time to actually be invited to open-air debates, and no one killed them or was intolerant to them at all whatsoever. And when you say, oh, Islam is terrified of atheists, I just want to say something. You're not special. We encounter polytheists, we encounter Christian Trinitarians, we encounter Zoroastrians throughout our history, and from our perspective, you're all arguing exactly the same thing, which is somehow the finite thing is also infinite and eternal, and we don't really see you as different. Actually, you're just another let's say, just not a flavor of ice cream that we are basically encountering. So don't make yourself out to be more special than you are.
You naughty, naughty. You teasing me, you naughty, naughty.
To people about the modern theory of evolution. Get rid of the word Darwinism, because that seems to me straw man. Okay, which modern theory? Because we have orthogenetic evolution, we have evolution by natural genetic engineering, we have neo-Lamarckian evolution, we have neo-mutationism, we have evolution by self-organization and the acquirance of entire genomes. We have all these different evolutionary models. Most of them are non-Darwinian.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
Wallahi, you're finished.
Hitler, what he did is he applied Darwinism to a social context.
He applied eugenics to a social context.
Yep, and who came up with eugenics? Darwin's cousin. And his son, Leonard Darwin, is the father of eugenics in this country. And Hitler applied it. That's true, then you being in this secular society, you should also challenge the material genesis story of atheism.
I think it is challenged.
If it is challenged, then give me any evidence in any school in this country or university where you can openly teach alternatives to Darwinian evolution and where you can openly criticize Darwinian evolution. Is rape wrong objectively, past, present, future, yes or no?
Yes.
You shouldn't hesitate here.
It's an why not?
Because
I'm sorry. So I should. So the base idea of ethics, right? The base idea of doing ethics is that we reevaluate why we believe certain things and see if they're accurate, right? If there is a proposition that you believe to be totally true, as I thought, for instance, of something like not being a racist, right? If somebody asks me why are you not a racist, and I immediately say, or are you not a racist, and I immediately say, yes, of course I'm not a racist, right? Whereas it pays sometimes, even if it seems ethically obvious, to sit back and think, well, why do I think that? Am I sure about that? And the answer can lead you to other moral places.
Sure, what's the answer?
So the answer is this, right? It is objectively true that to allow people to rape morally would not be an achievement of the goal that we all share.
That's not the question.
That's the objectivity in it.
Yeah, but you're answering.
What you want me to do? What you want me to do?
Wait 1 second. You're answering a question I didn't ask. I asked a very clear question, which everybody I think understood here, right? I asked, is rape wrong? Is that objectively true? And you're just beating around the bush.
But the reason why I have to beat around the bush is because I have to clarify that, remember how I said that a base principle can be subjective, but you can have objective derivatives from it?
Right.
So in terms of the objective derivative from our nature, yes, it is objectively wrong. Yes, is the answer to your question.
Based upon the subjective...
But you're going to want to turn around then and say, but it's based upon a subjective principle.
Yes.
Yes, it is, right?
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that I can say rape is not objectively wrong. I say that if we agree on this subjective moral principle, which we do, then we can make the objective derivative that rape is wrong.
Would a rapist agree to that? Of course they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't. But again, whether or not someone agrees with me is irrelevant to whether it's correct
But
or not.
look, Alex,
this is another jump you keep making.
Alex, what you're doing is you're building a house on a sandcastle, yeah? You are trying to say, look, if you ask me the question, I would say rape is wrong. Yes, it's wrong objectively.
Yeah.
But in your case, what you're basically you're doing is you're saying, right, subjectively, some people may hold this opinion. According to that, then since they all subjectively...
No, all people do hold that opinion. Okay, and from that we objectively derive that rape is wrong.
A rapist doesn't hold that opinion.
No, a rapist does value their pleasure and the avoidance
of
their suffering.
They value their pleasure, right? So it's not wrong for them.
Yeah, right, okay.
Because they're maximizing their pleasure.
No, but look, again, this is the mistake we're making. I said, I remember...
No, we're making, you're making because...
This is the man going into town and saying, let's paint the town yellow. This is what the rapist is doing, right? Just because they're saying, it's all subjective. I want this to be yellow. I don't want it to be blue. It's like, you are being inconsistent.
You are assuming...
This doesn't work. You are wrong, right? You are incorrect. Even if it's based on a subjective-based principle, it is objectively wrong as a derivative to be saying
Your entire argument is based upon the assumption that everybody likes the color blue. That's not true. And look,
of course that's not true. But by analogy,
me liking the color, chocolate or vanilla, is as arbitrary for Alex as someone committing rape or not committing rape.
But it's not as necessarily true.
But it's not as necessary.
Yeah, it's not as necessary.
Do you see? So for him, it's just as subjective. Whether you like chocolate, vanilla, or something else, it's just as subjective when it comes to rape, murder, pillaging, all of these things. And behind all the sophisticated technical jargon and sophistry,
I'll take that as a compliment.
Essentially, what it boils down to is the same thing which Richard Dawkins admitted to. The idea that rape is wrong is as arbitrary as the fact that we have 5 fingers rather than 6.
I can't just turn around and say that you're a hypocrite for being a moral nihilist, especially since I'm not one anymore.
Oh, you've changed your mind now?
Yes.
So you've tried that statement. Do you accept that there is a necessary existence?
I would say that yes. 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 Yes.
You believe in a necessary existence which explains everything else.
No, necessary existence. Be careful.
You said a necessary existence.
If I'm going to deny the existence of contingent objects as Cameron has defined them, then that kind of means that the universe and everything in it is necessary.
There's no good reason to think that something can't come out of nothing. Perhaps there is nothing somewhere and we just haven't been able to access it or create it by removing the sufficient matter in the universe. But the fact of the matter is we have no experience with nothing.
Are you retracting?
The universe, there's not one unified necessary existence.
But you said
that the universe and everything in it is necessary.
If I said that and I meant what you think I meant by that, then yes, I retract it. But
I object, Your Honor!
To yourself?
No, I think what it is, Alex, is that you
people can go and look up for themselves. You're very good at making arguments against things I used to believe in.
You're changing it because now you've been cornered. That's the only reason why you've changed your argument.